4 audience members.
Okay.
I read a quote the other day, and it said, "I'm sorry, no one's life is as perfect as their Instagram feed." Many of you in this room have some form of social media. Some of you use it daily and some of you use it weekly. What role is social media playing in your life? Does this have any effect on your mental health? There are pros and cons to social media. We should consider the effects that this has on a person's mental health. As an active social media user, I see the appeal it has for many people. I have been on social media for the past 5 years. I have also found it necessary to take breaks from social media because it can be very addicting. I have read articles and watched several videos on the effects that social media has on people. I have found these things to be very relatable to my life. Social media has changed the way the world works and communicates. First, I will explain the pros of social media. Second, the cons. And finally, I will explain the effects social media plays on a person's mental well-being. Social media, though. What is it? Before I discuss the pros and cons of social media, let's look at what it is. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the definition of social media is forms of electronic communication through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content. I currently have 3 active social media accounts. I use Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat, just to name a few. But there are many more, such as LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. Social media has a lot to offer people. Let's look at the pros that social media has brought to our society. According to developgoodhabits.com, social media has made it easier for people to stay in contact with close friends and family. Social media can ease loneliness, promote safety, and save lives during a crisis, influence you to live a healthier life, and allow you to have fun. I have found many of the pros I just listed to have a positive effect on my personal life. For example, a couple of months ago, Australia was having many forest fires, and I was made aware about this through Instagram first before it made news here. I also follow a couple of different weight loss Instagram accounts for encouragement on different ways to live a healthy life. Although social media has many pros, there are also some cons to consider. According to developgoodhabits.com, social media can cause addiction, trigger insecurities, increase the risk for depression. It can have psychologically damaging effects to some people, and your privacy can become at risk. Social media can be very addicting. I was at a doctor's office a couple of months ago, and I read in a magazine that it compared social media to nicotine. According to developgoodhabits.com, teenagers comprise the largest percentage of social media users. Because of this, they are the most vulnerable to its adverse effects on mental health. It is not only because it can trigger insecurities or depression, but teens can fall victim to online bullying. After reviewing some of the cons that social media has, let's see how this plays a role on a person's mental health. It was touched on before in the cons section that it can contribute to depression. According to Psychology Today, if it is used as a way to size up one's own accomplishments against others, it can have a negative effect. People want to share the great things going on in their life, their successes, and their vacations, and there is nothing wrong with that. But at times, even if it was not their intent, it can feel like people are rubbing their lives in your face. According to Psychology, there's a couple of things you can do about it. Number 1, deactivate your social media account. I've done it plenty of times. You can always reactivate it later. It's not the end of the world. Remember that Facebook and other social media accounts are not a true representation of reality. Turn off the computer and go make your own happy moments. We need to realize that no one's life is perfect, even if that's what's being presented to us on a bigger scale. Some have found that social media helps them with their loneliness, and others have found the opposite to be true. At the end of the day, it's important to recognize these facts and keep them in mind while using different forms of social media. In conclusion, there are pros and cons to social media. People should consider the effect that this has on mental health. I read a quote at the beginning of this speech that said, "No one's life is as perfect as their Instagram feed." On social media, we only let people see what we want them to see. Recognize that social media is not always accurate. Social media can add to our life, but it can also take away from our life when used incorrectly. Sometimes we are so caught up in capturing these perfect moments that we forget to live in the moment. Thank you.